Just give me 1 second here to just set up. Okay, got it. Good, yeah. I forgot. That's okay. Hi everybody, it's such a pleasure to be here today. I'm so excited. I feel actually a little bit like a mosquito at a nudist colony. I hardly know where to start. I said I'm giving a joke. I don't know if anybody's going to laugh. So first and foremost, I want to thank, I know that, Leslie and Jenny and the volunteers, some volunteers were in the room, but Leslie and Jenny, just huge shout out. Thank you for putting this together. Thank all of you for being here. It's just a great opportunity for us to come together and learn. And wellness takes a lot of different, there's a lot of different ways to be well. And I'm going to talk to you about time management as a way to increase your productivity, get better results. I am a business development coach, so I do tend to talk in business terms, but if that's not relevant for any of you in the room, just know that, time management is time management. So it's going to be relevant for you regardless. And I'm excited, really and truly, to talk to you. So, I want to know, how would it be for you if you could get everything done on your list every single day? How would that be? You like that? Me too. and how many of you would love to move yourselves forward and just get better results, whatever that looks like for you? Yeah? And when you were doing that, would it work if you were able to create something that was maybe 6 or 7 figures during that time? How would that be? And when would you like that to happen? Yes, me too. All right, so let's get started. We only have a short period of time, and let me tell you this. I am committed to giving you something here that you can literally walk out the door today and use to increase your productivity. Does that sound good?
Yes.
Okay. And I want you to know, okay, one other confession here. The fact that I am holding a handheld mic and I haven't self-destructed yet is amazing. Because those of you in the room who know me know that I talk with my hands. And the fact that I am constricted here by holding this and that I am still able to speak is amazing. So the first thing that I want to say to you is this. There is no such thing as time management. Oh my God! There is no such thing as time management. And I'm serious about that. Because here's the thing, guys. Time is the great equalizer. There are 24 hours in the day for every human being on this earth. And for you to think that you can somehow manage that, it's never going to happen. So here's what I want you to think about instead, and I am not playing with words here. I want you to think about what does it mean to manage yourself within the context of time. Because what is the only thing that you can control? Yourself, exactly. And here's the thing. I'm going to actually give you a task management system today that you can use and customize for yourself. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take it, you're going to apply it to yourself, the part that's going to work for you. And if you can manage yourself within the context of time, 70 to 80% of the time, you are doing fabulously. And then 20 to 30% of the time, you are going to throw your hands up to the universe and you're going to say, okay, I get it. Not going to happen the way I want it to happen today, right? So would it be okay if I told you a little bit about myself and my journey to get here? Would that be okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So I had a little bit of shiny object syndrome, right? Right? Totally had great ideas, but couldn't figure out how to get anything accomplished, get anything finished. Then what happened to me is I started to grow my own business, and I wanted it bad. I wanted success bad. and there were some things that I didn't know. So I went to some seminars. And then I developed something I called seminar envy. Now this may seem familiar to some of you, right? You're sitting in the audience, and there is an awesome speaker at the front of the room. And they've got the life, and they have what you want, right? They've got the systems dialed, they're, they've got the life, they've got the money, they've got the whole thing. And I want it more than anything, right? So when they make their offer, at the end, I am the one with my credit card running to the back of the room saying, I want that, right? And then I go home. And then reality hits, right? And then I can't implement their 5-step program. I can't implement step 3. And it's like, oh shoot, do I just not get to have that life? I just don't get to have those results? Here's the other thing that happened for me. I'm sitting in that audience, and in the back of the mind, I've got a reel going for me. I have a little secret. Feels like a dirty little secret to me. I'm watching this speaker, and I'm wanting the life. And I'm saying to myself, but Kim, you've had financial difficulties. During the downturn in the economy, you had to declare bankruptcy. So maybe you don't deserve it. Maybe that's not in the cards for you. Maybe you can't have that. And here's the thing. I took those two things together, and I said, no. No. I don't like that answer, and I don't like that response, and that's not going to be my life. And then I had to figure out, how am I going to be successful? How am I going to make it happen? And here's where the answer lies for me, and honestly, I think it lies for you. Why couldn't I implement their system? Because it was their system. It wasn't mine. And so I wasn't ever going to be successful doing that. I don't have to throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? I can take the part of it that works for me, and now I have to figure out how to make it work, the rest of it work for me. So that's what we're going to talk about today. How do you figure that out for yourself? So here's the thing. I give you, not that I have this power, but I'm up here and I have the microphone, so I'm taking it anyway. I give you permission to figure it out for yourself. If what I say to you today helps you do that, I want to be a part of the solution for you. And I want you to take whatever part of what I say that resonates with you, and I want you to implement that. I guarantee you your productivity will increase by implementing any part of it, okay? What you don't have permission to do is to walk out of here and walk out of this conference today and do the same thing that you've always done. Do we have an agreement? Is everybody going to walk out of here today and somehow do something different to move yourself and your business forward? Yes? Yes. Okay. So then let's get down to the nitty-gritty and let me give you an idea of how do you do it. Okay? And what I'm going to give you specifically, because we have a really short period of time together, is I'm going to give you a task management system that you can use. Okay? So it's based on the fact that you have to understand your own relationship to time in order to implement any kind of new system, right? So I'm not going to stand up here and say, well, this is how it works for me, so this is the way you should do it, right? What I'm going to say to you is you have to understand what systems you use, what systems work for you, and then you need to expand those. Because honestly, ladies, what would make you think that after 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years of perfecting all of your bad habits, that you would come to a 20-minute talk and all of a sudden they would be gone, right? Doesn't happen that way. So here's the thing. We don't care what you do bad. What we care about is, what do you do well? Because when you can understand that, now you have a conversation worth having with yourself. Does that make sense? So as I'm giving you this system, I want you to be thinking about what you do well. What is your unique relationship to time, and how can you use what I give you to move yourself forward? Okay, so here's what it looks like. The system is called, it's the radar formula, and I'll tell you what radar stands for. And again, we're just talking right now about task management because, like I said, I want to give you something that you can really use. Record, and I'll go through each one afterwards. Record, approximate, how long it's going to take you to do each task. Decide what you're actually going to do. Apply it. You got to put it into action, and you have to repeat it. All right, so let's go through each step. Record. You must record everything in one place. Do I have list makers? Okay. So ladies, lists are fabulous. If you're not a list maker, figure out how to get everything in one place. But here's the deal, guys. No longer can you have a list in your purse and a list by your computer and a list, by your bedside. It's got to be one list in one place. And it has to include all the things it is that you have to do, including email, including errands, including everything, phone calls, everything that has to get done. And then what you're going to do is you are going to approximate how long it's going to take you to do all of these tasks. Okay? So you need to pay attention to how long it takes you to do things. Okay, what's going to happen when you add it all up? It's going to add up to 8 hours? No. Right. It's going to add up to way more time. Even if you've underestimated how long it's going to take you, it's going to add up to way more time than you actually have in the day. And this is your opportunity to set your priorities. Now, I'm just going to say, for those of you in the room that are growing your businesses, look at what are income-producing activities. What are revenue-generating activities? And my friends, those need to be at the top of the list. Okay? Now, if you have if health is at the top of your list, if food is at the top of whatever is at the top of your list, make sure, if your priorities, make sure that you make time for that. That's what gets done every day. Okay, so now we said that there's going to be more things on your list than you can do. So now you have to decide what you're going to do. You either need to break things down into smaller chunks. Now I got to tell you, everybody says break tasks down. And it sounds like, oh, I've heard that before, right? Okay, guys, listen. No longer should you have on your list anything that you can't do in 90 minutes or less. And let me say this. For some tasks and for some of you, it's going to have to be smaller chunks. So I'm writing a book right now. And I know that I can sit for about 45 minutes and write before all of a sudden my mind is wandering, I'm thinking about, a snack, whatever else is happening for me. So I now block my writing in 45-minute chunks, right? Because I'm not trying to change what is right for me, I'm trying to go with it because that's how I'm going to accelerate my growth. Now, there are other things I can sit for a lot longer and do, but that's not one of those things. All right? Here's the other thing. You should not any longer have anything on your list that looks like do taxes, do website. Because, my friends, those things are not tasks that are doable in and of themselves. Right? So if you start getting what I like to call fuzzy head, right? You look at your list and your brain just like goes into Fuzzyville. It probably means that the task isn't broken down far enough. Okay, so I've got to move on because we don't have that much time. But you guys got that? Yeah. Okay. So here's a really other important thing that I don't want to gloss over here. Okay. So somebody tell me, how long does it take you to go grocery shopping?
An hour.
An hour. Oh, an hour. Clearly it takes an hour. Okay. So listen to this. So you had to make that list somehow. Either you went through your fridge, your cupboard, you looked at recipes, whatever you did, you had to make a list, right? Then you had to drive to the store. You then had to do that hour of shopping. You have to bring the stuff back into your car, you have to drive home, and you have to put it all away. You know that any time when I'm at the grocery store and somebody says, oh, do you want help out? I'm like, no, I can carry the groceries out. I want somebody to come home and put them away for me, right? So what you want to do in that moment is to understand how to actually put time onto tasks, right? You have to account for transition time. You have to account for driving time. If you're going to a meeting, you have to account for whatever follow-up has to happen. You have to account for your transitions. It's where we get ourselves. When you have that feeling that at the end of the day where you're thinking, oh my God, where did the time go? That's a lot of what's happening for you. You've totally, grossly overestimated what you can get done in a day because you haven't factored in all the transition time. Okay? So, apply. You have to put it into action. We are women of action. You must be moving. You cannot be hindered by procrastination or by perfectionism. And you can trust me, I don't know if my eyes are going down or up. Have anybody heard the face lady before? But I gotta tell you, whatever it is, I have the perfectionist gene, okay? And you know what? Sometimes it has to just be good enough, right? Because we are women of action. We have big visions and big things, big impact that we want to make in this world, and we have to move in order for that to happen. And then the last thing is that you have to repeat. In other words, you have to find some kind of consistency around this process. Now, let me just tell you, I am somebody who resists routines like nobody's business. So here's the thing. If you can take one of these things and you can do it one day a week to begin with, and you can do that for 21 days consistently, you are going to be better off than trying to implement an entire new plan, do it for a week, and then say, oh, well, that didn't work, right? And then just abandon the whole thing. So this is small changes that make big impacts in your business and your life. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. So systems. Now, here's the deal. I don't care what calendar you use. If you have a calendar that works for you, use it. The only thing I would say to you is that it usually is most helpful if you can have one calendar, right? So if you're somebody who has a paper calendar and an electronic calendar and you find yourself missing appointments, then you probably need to figure out one or the other and not use both. Now, I'm going to tell you, I have a client who, God bless her, right? She has 3 calendars and 2 lists, right? And she's OCD and she manages it like that. So it works for her. So do you hear what I'm saying to you? I'm saying figure it out for you, however it's going to work best for you. So typically you only want one calendar. I know for me, I can't manage more than one calendar. Most people can't. So pick one calendar that works for you and do that. And so I'm getting the sign here, so I'm going to tell you to conclude my famous saying here. Though no one can go back and make a brand new start, anyone can start from now and make a brand new ending. So make a decision about how it's going to be for you, and maybe the last point that I'm going to make to you, and maybe 2 points. They're probably the most important things I'm going to say today. First and foremost, you do not need to be fixed. Okay? You are perfect how you are. Honor who you are and figure out how you're going to get things done based on that. So do you see what the difference is? You don't start from the place of, well, I'm terrible at procrastination, and I'm terrible at calendaring, and I'm terrible at this, and I'm going to get better at those things. You know what you need to get better at? Wanting what you want bad enough, right? Because when you have that, the rest of it, instead of being boulders, they're just little rocks. You'll figure out a way past it. So here's the deal, ladies. I do have a booth. It's sort of out the door, almost straight. So I'm happy to talk to you. If any of you want to talk, my business partner, Lisa Ferrer, is here. We truly are the dynamic duo. So I am a little intense. I am the get-her-done girl. And Lisa is an energy healer and an intuitive. And we work in tandem to help people shift core beliefs from inside and get the business results from the outside. So come talk to us. We'll be at the reception as well. We'd love to chat. We have some clients in the room. So Susie's here and Yoli's here. So if you want to talk to them about what it's like to work with us, you can talk with them. And I hope that you got a huge amount of value out of this. And I love being here. Thank you.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you especially for all the steps. And I want to ask you ladies to think about which one step you want to integrate into your life. I think we have a few minutes left for questions. So if anybody has any questions.
How do you suggest to other people to help them? Like when you're coaching, what is your process to try to find out what they need?
So the question is, when you're coaching, what is the process to find out what your client needs?
Okay, so I'm not exactly sure the context, but I'll answer anyway. And if I'm not answering your question, you'll tell me. So I think it's about asking good questions. And so this is a tip. I don't usually give this tip, but I'm going to give you, this is the bonus, okay? So here's the thing. So I like to do something what I call ask better questions. So in the same way that I just told you, that asking questions like, why did I procrastinate on that? Why didn't I get that done? I call those black hole questions. Because in my opinion, there is nothing positive that's going to come out of the answer to that, right? It's just a lot of self-blame and a lot of other stories that we tell ourselves. We don't need to go there. So what I often do will say, what is it that you want and how can we get you there, right? Because that, you have to take the emotional attachment out of the task, right? The story about the doing taxes, right? So for a lot of people that has a lot of emotional charge to it. And guess what? Sometimes measuring how big your office is so that you can deduct that from your taxes is simply just taking out a tape measure and doing the measurements, right? So that's a part of breaking down those tasks, is really and truly taking that emotional story out of your productivity. If that's helpful.
Very helpful.
Okay.
Do we have time for one more question?
Tell me the acronym again. It's record, action.
Yeah, so it's radar.
The acronym is the question.
Yeah. So record, approximate, decide, apply, and repeat. Okay?
Great. We actually have 2 more minutes, so we have some time for more questions.
This may be an actual record for me.
This is not so much as a question as a kind comment, or nice comment, I hope. Earlier how you were talking about speaker envy. I admire you, and I'm in early stages of, we talked briefly about this professional development company I'm producer, and I very much appreciate hearing you speak and feeling like I have something to inspire.
Oh, that's so
Nice. So she just acknowledged herself for speaker envy, and but is also moving forward with what was it? A startup, which was great conversation. Sounds like so. Alrighty, I think is that it? Any other questions? Last one.
Do you have a website?
Website.
I do. My website is isuccesscore.com. So I in the front, success, core, C-O-R-E, core.com. And I do have a booth out there and I have a little bit of literature, so I have my contact information on it. If you want that, you can come see me. Where is my booth? It's actually, if you just go right out the door here, I'm actually kind of right, yeah, I'm like right by the life, I'm right by the life people. Oh, you know what? A lot of you heard the face lady before. I'm the L. I'm the other part of the L from her. Yeah.
Thank you, Karen.